Standing Simmer here today, and today in the game we are back for an apartment renovation. So I haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks, and today's is a very special one because this apartment renovation is actually a part of a collab with Chrissie York. This is the very first collab I've ever done on my channel, and I'm super excited about it. So I can't wait to tell you guys all about her and the process we came to in deciding what to do with this apartment. So there's all kinds of cool stuff I get to fill you guys in on today. So first things first, we are building today in 1010 Alto. This is the one of the large apartments. Well, actually, it's just one of the apartments in Uptown. All of the apartments in Uptown seem to be pretty large. I've actually never really built over in this area of San Myshuno before, mainly because all of the apartments are so big. But I don't know, this was just kind of a lot of fun today to tread into the world of these massive apartments over in Uptown. So like I said, we're building in 1010 Alto. This is the apartment complex right across the hallway from where Diego Lobo lives when you first open up your game. So this apartment complex actually comes uninhabited. So you can easily, without having to evict anyone, just place this lot down and start playing. So I've entitled this the Elegant Family Apartment today because that was really more the theme that we were going for. Now I'm going to talk about themes here in a second after I tell you about kind of what I was thinking for this kitchen, and then we'll talk about Chrissie and I'll introduce myself and all that good stuff. So, like I said, this kitchen is pretty cool. I didn't actually technically start in this kitchen when it came to the actual apartment renovation. I cut out doing the laundry room and a little bit of the living room right at first because, first of all, this footage was ages and a day long when it all came down to it, and I didn't want you guys to have to sit through like 45 minutes because I'm a slow furnisher. So I went ahead and just began the video here today with us doing the kitchen, and I thought the kitchen was going to be a very special room in this house because when you open up this lot in your game, it actually comes with the chef's kitchen lot trait. So I thought that that was pretty interesting, and I wanted to incorporate that in this build today because I imagine that maybe one of the adults that live here would really be into cooking. Maybe they're in the culinary career, or they just have an affinity for cooking. They really like having a nice kitchen and entertaining possibly. So I wanted to make sure to fulfill that need for this apartment, to make sure it had a really nice, expansive, functional kitchen. So you've got your double ovens, you've even got double sinks. I honestly don't know what you would do with double sinks. Maybe like stack your dishes in one of them and still have one free. I don't know. But yeah, it's available there if you would happen to want it. So, like I said, this is an elegant family apartment. When I first approached Chrissie about the possibility of doing this collab, we were kind of tossing back some ideas and just trying to figure out what we were going to do. You know, when I first talked to her about it, I was, I've never done a collab before, and she actually ended up telling me that she had never done one as well. So this is a first one for both of us, which is really exciting. But when I initially approached her, we were kind of tossing some ideas back and forth, and we decided to do an apartment renovation because we both really enjoy, you know, doing apartments. I mean, apartments are kind of fun when it really comes down to it. It's really nice to be able to not have to worry about the exterior or landscaping or anything like that. Really, like, one of the biggest things is just the floor plan, and once you get in, you know, you're good to go. So we decided to do an apartment renovation, and the collaborative part of this video today, and why you should definitely go check out her video, is that we're furnishing the exact same apartment, this same 1010 Alto, only we're doing it in different styles. So my style that I was going for, at least, you guys will have to let me know if you think I made it, but I was going for a traditional style. That's the style that I decided on. And so you have a lot of your dark woods and more muted tones, nothing too, well, the apartment, the living area does end up being fairly open, but for the most part, it's not too expansive as far as the living area goes. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. My husband just came home from work, and I had timed this voiceover poorly, apparently, in relation to when he was supposed to be getting home from work. So I heard him coming through our back porch area, and I was like, oh no. So I just had to pause the recording there for a second, and now we're back to it because I've kicked him out of the house temporarily so that I can finish this voiceover. So I try to be good about, you know, pausing it, you know, finishing my thought prior to when I know he's, you know, about to come in and interrupt me. But it's a matter of trying to remember what I was talking about when I come back to the voiceover. So I believe I was talking about the different styles that we had assigned each other when it came to decorating this apartment. So I decided on a more traditional style, which I believe I covered ever so slightly, but essentially traditional, that's what I'm going for. I like to think that my style is typically a mix of more modern and traditional, so it wasn't too difficult, I feel, for me to try to stick to that, but this could totally not at all qualify as traditional, so you guys have to let me know how you think I did with that. But Chrissie's apartment, not to spoil too much on her video, but hers is to be a modern apartment. So she is furnishing this exact same space, but in a totally different style. And so I'm so excited to see her video and to see how she managed to do the floor plan, because again, this is just such a big apartment and I started from scratch completely with my own floor plan. So I'm really excited to see what she did with that and how her furnishing style differs from mine. In addition to choosing different styles that we are going to be putting into this apartment today, we also decided that we would assign the other person a couple of colors that we had to incorporate kind of here and there. So these aren't meant to be dominant colors necessarily, but we're just supposed to try to pop them in where we can. And so I believe I assigned Chrissy orange and pink for her modern theme, so get a little crazy, I think. I'm sure she did great with it. I can't wait to see how she managed to incorporate those. And she assigned me blue and yellow. So the room that we're currently in, the master, it's not the best example of the blue and the yellow. I try to tie in later on, but I promise I do my best to throw in a few pops of those colors here and there. So that I can fulfill that requirement. So yeah, guys, definitely go check out Chrissy's video, which of course will be linked down below, to see how her style went and to also see her incorporate those special colors that we assigned for each other. So I definitely wanted to tell you guys a little bit about Chrissy, just in case you would happen to be only my viewer and maybe you've never seen her or her channel before. Chrissy is awesome, guys. Like, she's really cool. She and I have been interacting now for several weeks and it has been such a cool experience. She just seems like a really nice person, and her channel is awesome. Like, girl uploads almost daily, which I just cannot fathom all the work that goes into that. Actually, a couple of times this week she's uploaded twice daily, which blows my mind a little bit. Like, she is so good at remaining consistent with her content. It's incredible. And she has some really cool different like series and such on her channel, which I've been enjoying here recently. So she does some builds and some apartment renovations and things like that. So she is a builder, which if you're watching this build, I assume you do enjoy builds or renovations, at least to some extent. So she does do those, but she also does these really awesome creative sims and such. Like here recently, I think she's been trying to make over a couple of the townies, and her style is really, really good. Like, the townies are definitely improved once she's had her hands on them. So she does her townie makeovers, and she has also recently begun the 100 Baby Challenge on her channel as well, which would make me absolutely crazy. Like, I would go insane. Now, I say that if there's a possibility I might start something like that on my channel at some point, but yeah, that just all those babies, all those toddlers, I don't think I could do it. But she's recently begun that, and her main sim is really, really cute. So she's going to be having some cute babies, that's for sure. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. So there's that. And then she also has a very special series on her channel that I've been enjoying as well, where she does, well, they're creative sims based on gemstones. So she chooses a gemstone for that week, and then she creates a sim and develops a character and all that good stuff based around the, I guess, characteristics of the gem would be the way to say that. But anyways, she just creates this whole sim solely based around information that she's gained from a gemstone. And then in addition to that, later in the same week, usually she'll upload like an apartment renovation for that gemstone sim. So it's this whole like cool 2-part series that she's been doing on her channel for a while, and I've really been enjoying those. I like themed casts and builds like that, and she's doing both themed casts and builds for the same gemstone. So if any of that sounds appealing to you, which it definitely should, you should go check out her channel. As always, as is typical with these types of builds and collaborations, I will of course have all of her information linked in the description, including her video for the same apartment renovation but done in her modern style, and her channel and her Twitter and all that good stuff. So definitely go check her out, show her some love. And yeah, like I said, I'm super excited to see her video for this series because modern is a fun style to decorate in as well. I actually kind of have a hankering here recently to decorate something in a modern style. So you might see something like that popping up on my channel here soon. But anyways, like I said, really excited to see Chrissie's and to see her take on this apartment. And yeah, so right now we're working on the entry area, which if you don't really like the way that it looks right now, especially like the wallpaper and such, I had such trouble coming up with the wallpaper to put in this room for some reason. I think mainly because I've used this brown a couple of other places already in the apartment, and I'm going to use it again because I feel like the neutral color of the wallpaper works really well with a traditional apartment. So I was really struggling for some reason with what to put in this entryway. Maybe because it is so big, for one thing. Like there's a lot going on in this entryway. So like I said, if you don't really like the way that like the rugs look or the wallpaper looks by the end of, you know, how I'm messing with it here, don't worry about it. I will go back and fix it eventually. Right off there to the right, you'll see one of the bathrooms, and there to the left of this entryway is the laundry room I was telling you guys about a little earlier, which I did cut out because this video, it was just going to be so long otherwise. So yeah, I figured you guys didn't mind too much as long as, you know, you got to see the main parts of the build that I cut out of the bathrooms and things like that. They're all pretty cookie cutter, neutral flooring and wallpaper for the most part. And actually, this is a good time for me to tell you guys that there are 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms in this apartment, as well as an additional laundry room. So the laundry room actually doesn't have a toilet or a sink or anything in it. It's just totally separate as a laundry room. It comes off the living room, which we're kind of working on that general area here. But yeah, 4 bathrooms, and 1, 2, 3 of those bathrooms are en suites to the bedrooms that we're going to furnish here in a while. Of course, the master has its own ensuite, and then 2 of the children's bedrooms that we decorate later on have their own en suites as well. I mean, that's the dream right there, honestly. Could you imagine? I mean, some of you may have had or currently have an ensuite to your room. And I am so jealous if that's the case. Like, that would be awesome. Like in my current house, we live in a pretty small house, my husband and me. It's just the 2 of us right now. And we live in a pretty small house, and our bedroom is on the top floor. It's the only room on the top floor. We have kind of like a loft style, and the only bathroom in our house is downstairs. So it's a fur piece to go if you're like waking up in the middle of the night, have to run that direction. So yeah, anyways. Just in case you would happen to be coming from Chrissie's channel and maybe you've never come into contact with me before, let me do a little bit of an introduction for me so you can kind of know who I am and all that good stuff. My name is Mariah. I'm the standing simmer here on YouTube, as you probably have seen. I have recently just begun this YouTube channel. I'm pretty new in the whole journey, so if you see a bunch of my newbie mistakes, then just forgive me. Hopefully those will be gone here in a few months' time, but I've really been enjoying having a channel so far. Like it's been so amazing to interact with the community. Like there's this whole facet of the simming community that I was never even privy to, because I'm now a creator, and I don't know why that makes a difference, but it seems like I've just come into contact with so many more cool people ever since I began my own channel, and it has been such a good experience so far. So like I said, I haven't been doing this too long, but I've been having an absolute blast with it so far. And yeah, so like I said, standing simmer. I don't think I've explained this since my very first video on the channel, which by now was about a month ago, but I'm called the standing simmer because I actually utilize a standing desk to play The Sims. Long story short, I try to be a pretty active person. I enjoy trying to stay healthy, and like I've got my Fitbit on, and I try to get my 10,000 steps in, you know, all that good stuff. I'm not very extreme about it, but I do like to at least attempt a healthy lifestyle if I can. But then again, I'll also like eat my carton of ice cream weekly or something like that. So gotta have that balance, you know. But anyways, so I'm the standing simmer because my husband recently built me a standing desk. So a few months ago, I was feeling really bad about the amount of time, just the sheer volume of hours in a week I spend playing The Sims. So I was expressing to him that I didn't really like having to sit down to do that, and he just built me a standing desk. Like, he's incredible. It's actually an extension off of my current desk that allows me to stand up while I play. So long story short, that just means that I get to play The Sims a lot more now without guilt, which is really, really nice. We've managed to furnish the dining room area and the hallway that leads into the other set of bedrooms, which is on the other side of the apartment. If you were paying attention during that hallway section, you may have noticed that I completely neglected to put a doorway to the far bedroom, like in the, well, it's hard to orient myself now, but it's one of the corner bedrooms in this apartment. I didn't put a doorway to it from the hallway, so bad floor planning on my part. That was a total oversight that, yeah, it was a little embarrassing when I finally did discover that I did that. So I fixed it later on because when I go to furnish the bedroom, I realize, oh, there's no door to this bedroom. The Sims might need that in order to utilize the bedroom. So we do fix that later on, but if you would happen to have noticed that during the, while I was furnishing the hallway over there, well, good job, because you noticed it way, way faster than I did. I furnished the whole thing and didn't even notice that there wasn't a door. So we're back over here working on the living room. For some reason, the living room took me a while to kind of figure out what I wanted to do with it. So I was having trouble picking the furniture that I wanted to have in here. I actually come through this living room like 2 or 3 times separately. At various stages of the apartment renovation, just to try to figure out the layout and the furniture and all that good stuff. I initially begin with a lot of like really kind of old fogey looking traditional furniture, which it's actually a set that comes with a base game with really like ornate woods and like patterns and stuff on the fabric, and I don't know, it was looking a little too much for me. I wanted this to look like a family actually lived in this apartment, which lighter colored sofas may or may not be conducive to. Like a lot of kids being in the apartment, I know that that would probably like terrify some parents with younger children. But I think this layout and again the furniture ends up looking so much better than what I initially had planned for it. So I had a lot of fun utilizing some of those base game couches. I think those are base game, and the tables and such from both Jungle Adventure and Parenthood. Like, I thought that that was really cool because they look really nice when you put them together, and those wood tones really tied in all the other wood tones I was looking for, but without looking too dark and too traditional, I guess. Like I said, I really wanted this to be like a family apartment, but it also needs to have like a flair of the elegant and the traditional as well. So finally we have settled on all of the right furniture. I'm happy with the living room at this point, and just kind of filling in a couple of these little like corners and things like that, because this is such an open space coming through the main living area that I just end up with all these random corners that I have to shove stuff in. So yeah, that's what we're doing right here. Before I completely forget to mention this, because if you guys have watched my videos before, you will know that I just totally forget to tell you guys that my builds and such are available on the gallery. So I hope you can't hear that. There's one of my neighbors revving his something. I suppose it's like a motorcycle or something like that. Oh my goodness. I actually have my desk set up right next to the window that's in the front of my house. So all of the traffic that you can hear on the road right outside my house sometimes picks up in the video. So I'm very sorry about that. But what was I just saying? Yes, the apartment is available on the gallery. As with all my creations, so far I've not managed to miss uploading something that I've built here on the channel to the gallery. So if I would happen to not say that in a video, there's a pretty good bet that it's on there already. And that's because when I build something, I tend to go ahead and upload it right away. And now this was kind of special because I wanted to keep it a secret from the world. So, you know, this actually is not currently available on the gallery to the date of this recording, but I will upload it the day that this video goes live. So if you want to find it and place it in your game, then it should be available, no problem. But yes, it is available on the gallery. My ID on the gallery is Standing Simmer, and I always try to put my creations under the hashtag Standing Simmer as well, so that way you can have like an alternate method of finding those guys. So we've already done one of the bedrooms in this apartment, which was the master. That was a little while ago, but now we're working on that far bedroom where I forgot to connect it to the rest of the apartment with a door. This I imagine for a teenage girl, possibly. I thought that the family dynamic for this apartment was either a single parent or a couple, one of which probably had, probably has like an affinity for cooking, like I talked about earlier, really likes that big old kitchen back there. And then I thought that they had an older teenage daughter, a younger child son, and a baby, possibly. So this is a pretty young family. Although I guess if they have a teenager and a baby, then the kids are pretty spread out in age. But I think that's kind of cool. I don't often play my sim families that way. Usually when my sims have kids, they have kids like in rapid succession to the next one. So it's not uncommon for me to, have a sim who's pregnant, they have a baby, I age the baby up to a toddler, and then boom, they're pregnant again like the next sim day. So all of my sim kids tend to be pretty close in age, but apparently this family decided to go about that in a different way. They have a teenager, a child, and a baby possibly. So we'll be furnishing, of course, all of those bedrooms here on camera, and so you guys will get to see those. So, okay, this area right here, this area is weird. So I don't know if you can tell there, but the flooring, of course, is different in this sauna room compared to the whole rest of the apartment. So everywhere else in the apartment, you've got these gorgeous diagonal vampire wooden flooring, the wooden floors at least. And then in this one little weird rectangular room, that has a totally different flooring. And this room actually came in this exact size in the original apartment floor plan. But for some reason, when I was trying to create my own floor plan and I was laying down the new flooring, it wouldn't let me change the flooring in this room. I don't know if that's a glitch, like just with my game, but it would not let me change it. It would not let me delete it. So I had to utilize, at least I felt as though I had to utilize this room as a totally separate room. And when I was trying like desperately to figure out what to put back there, I was initially thinking that this room we're working on right now would be a bedroom, and then that room would be like a bathroom or a closet or something like that. But since we already had enough bedrooms in the apartment, I decided to transfer the gym area to this larger room that we're working on right now, and then put a sauna in that weird room with the flooring that I couldn't change, because the sauna fit in there just perfectly. I was so happy when that worked out, because it was flawless. It's like I planned it that way. I did not plan it that way. I was not that organized going into this. I was just trying to make the best of a bad situation. Couldn't change the flooring. Don't know why that is. Like I said, I hope that's just my game. I hope that you don't have that same issue. I'll have to see if Chrissy had that same issue in her apartment, because that would be really unfortunate if you can just never change the flooring back in that section of the apartment. So because I had to move the gym equipment to the room we were working on earlier, I actually added some new gym equipment. So you have this gorgeous, lovely open gym area with plenty of equipment to, utilize, and it overlooks these two massive windows into the city. Like, that's the actual dream. Like, I could not imagine like running on the treadmill or doing my yoga right in front of like these big, just that view would be incredible while you were working out. I would be distracted the whole time. Like, I wouldn't even be thinking about the fact that I was working out. I would just be enjoying the view so much. So like I said, since I had to move the gym area over that direction in the apartment, I decided to change this into another bedroom. And since it has such a weird, long, rectangular shape, I thought, and also because it's adjacent to the master, I thought it would do well as the bedroom for the very youngest child in this family, who I imagine to be a baby at this stage. Now, the toddler bed and like a child's bed wouldn't really take up all that much room. I feel like you could squeeze it in here pretty easily, but I so rarely put nurseries in my my builds of any kind, honestly. And so I thought that a nursery in this build would be really nice. So if your family would happen to have an older child and you need that bedroom to be something else, I feel like you could change and adapt that pretty easily. So yeah, that's what we did over there. I loved all the colors in that build, or in that room as well. So now we're working on the final bedroom in the apartment. This is for the child that I mentioned earlier, who I imagine to be a boy, but of course you can, toss anyone in here that you want to. The colors for this particular room, I went for oranges and blues and greens. And the reason that stuck out to me while I was doing the screenshots is that in the last family apartment renovation that I did a little boy's bedroom in like almost the exact same color scheme. I don't know if I used a lot of the same items as I did in that other one, but for some reason, guys, I really enjoy oranges, blues, and greens in my kid boy bedrooms. I mean, that's what I learned about myself while I was furnishing this apartment. I really need to shake it up on my next one. I didn't do this intentionally, but when I was taking the screenshots, I was like, this looks familiar. This whole color scheme, very familiar. So I guess I just need to take some more inspiration as to how to furnish a kid's boy bedroom, because yeah, I think I've overdone this one a little bit. But I imagine the child that inhabits this room to be not only interested in athletics, as you can see by some of the posters that we've hung up there, but also maybe he likes science. And so he's a pretty well-rounded kid. Like he's got his academics covered and his athletics covered. And possibly when he ages, he'll have some trouble picking what career he wants to go into, because they kind of are very different careers. Or maybe he'll remain pretty well-rounded and he'll be an athlete with a high logic skill, or perhaps a scientist with a high fitness skill. I don't know. But I just thought it was kind of cool to mix in those two different interests, I guess. And then also just put it all here in the child's bedroom. So coming back really quickly into the teenage girl's bedroom to change the wallpaper. Yes, I really like that. I guess, is ombre the appropriate word? It's like a gradient, that gradient of colors wallpaper. It looks really good. And then of course, because I put the Parenthood wallpaper in the kid's boy bedroom, I was like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and change it in the nursery as well, because I think that looks really nice. And this is the final run through for the entryway, the one I finally ended up being happy with just a simple rug and a couple of plants to cover up those walls. So yeah, guys, that's the whole build. Super excited to have been collabing with Chrissy for this one. Like I said, cannot wait to see her video. You should totally go check it out as well. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment. I always love reading your comments. I think I've said this before. It's so nice to see your comments down there. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave you up here for the rest of the screenshots, because there are many. I hope you're having the best of days, and I will see you very soon. Bye.
I'm so happy, I can't lie, mesmerized by these lines. I'm so happy, I can't lie, mesmerized by these lines. I'm so happy, I can't lie, mesmerized by these lines. I'm so happy, I can't lie, mesmerized by these lines. I'm so happy, I can't lie, mesmerized by these lines. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.